All right, good morning and welcome to the 29th Korea TESOL International Conference. Our theme, More Than Words, Teaching for a Better World, is one that I'm very delighted can bring us all together here today. Now, for today's opening ceremony, I want to keep it short and sweet because I don't know about you, but these days my attention span for Zoom is very limited. And also we have an amazing presentation starting in this room at 10 a.m. I want to give you a brief break so you can have time to get coffee and stretch your legs before we officially get started. But in the meantime, welcome and thank you for joining us. Our opening ceremony today will be about 15 to 20 minutes long. It features opening remarks, including some by Kathleen Stevens, the former ambassador to Korea, and Brian Hell, the co-TESOL president. We'll have a quick introduction to some of the tech tools we're using for our conference. And then, of course, I'll be giving gratitude to all of the nearly 100 people who are involved in helping out with this conference. So without further ado, here are some opening remarks from Kathleen Stevens, the former US ambassador to Korea, I hope.
Hello, my name is Kathleen Stevens. I'm honored to join you for the 29th Korea TESOL International Conference. I first went to Korea in 1975 as part of the Peace Corps Middle School Education Program. English was a required language in Korea starting in middle school, 7th grade, and I was assigned to Yeonjunggakyo, a boys' middle school in the county seat of Yesan in the province of Chungcheongnam-do. It was a multi-hour train ride from Seoul, surrounded by farm villages where new metal roofs, the shining symbol of the Saemal New Village movement, were gradually replacing the graceful but now old-fashioned thatch of farmers' cottages. It was quite a transformation that I witnessed, and I count myself fortunate to have been in Korea during several periods of such great change. Back then in the 1970s, again as I returned to Korea in the 1980s as a young diplomat, and much later as U.S. ambassador to Korea. But I count myself doubly fortunate that my lifelong association with Korea, and indeed my diplomatic career, began with being an English, a TESOL teacher. Before we were sent out to our schools, the Peace Corps tried to train us. We were mostly recent college graduates with little work experience and no experience in Korea at all, and they tried to give us some familiarity with Korean culture, the Korean educational system, and to give us some teaching methods that would be suited to the Korean classroom. But we all quickly found out just how high Korean expectations about education are. And we were in classrooms packed with 70 students, working alongside our Korean colleagues, co-teachers, who were heavily burdened with all kinds of administrative and disciplinary duties, crushing hours. And most of these teachers had never met a native English speaker before or even tried to converse in English. I wasn't a very good teacher. When I've met my former co-teachers or former students over the years, we've generally spoken in Korean, not English, and my Korean is not all that great. But whatever languages we spoke in and continue to speak in now, I think we all widened each other's world at least a little bit. Certainly, I know that my perspective was much, much broadened. And I know that I received much more than I gave. So teaching and learning and the relationships we build are definitely two-way streets. My time as a teacher in Korea as a Peace Corps volunteer laid the foundation of my lifelong observation and engagement with Korea's extraordinary rise and journey, of a lifetime of learning from Korea and in Korea, and most of all, a lifetime of friendships and contacts with Korean students, teachers, and parents. So whether I was a young diplomat witnessing the tumultuous democratization of South Korea in the 1980s, or as an ambassador preparing to present my credentials to the Korean president as the new U.S. representative in Korea 20 years later, my early experiences as an English teacher, a TESOL teacher, helped to inform my understanding of the special relationship between not just the governments, but the people of the United States and Korea. Peace Corps departed Korea in 1981. But in the ensuing years, South Korea became the only Peace Corps recipient country to start its own version of the Peace Corps through an organization called KOICA, the Korea International Cooperation Agency. And when President Obama visited Korea in 2009, when I was ambassador in Korea, I introduced him to a Korean volunteer who had just returned from serving in Indonesia for KOICA. And this young Korean woman told me that she was too nervous to speak in English to the American president, despite the fact that she'd studied English for years. So I suggested she speak to him in Bahasa Indonesian. So she did. And President Obama was surprised, and he loved it. I still don't know what they talked about, but they had a wonderful conversation. So indeed, as this conference will explore, teaching and learning a foreign language is about a lot more than grammar or vocabulary, as important as those are, and it's certainly more than words. You are building relationships and broadening perspectives, your students, your colleagues, and very much your own. I wish you all the best in this important conference and in your very important work. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for Ambassador Stevens for being so kind as to record that lovely message for us. I think I couldn't have said it better myself about how important this theme is.
Hello, my name is Kathleen.
That's not what I meant to do, though. All right, next we have opening remarks from current Korea TESOL President Brian Hale.
Hello, I'm Brian Hale. I'm the current president of Korea TESOL. I'm honored to offer this brief address at the opening of this 29th Korea TESOL International Conference. I think the theme of this year's conference is vital and very timely, and the program is marvelous. So I'm really eager to get into the conference sessions. I do want to take this opportunity to say thank you to our partner organizations, both domestic and international. And in particular, I'd like to offer a really warm welcome to the partner representatives we have here with us at the conference. They are Himal Bhat of LTI, Wayne Malcolm of JOLT, and Narant Setseg Ravja of LTAM. Please join me in welcoming them. While we're here, I'd also like to take a few moments to congratulate the winners of some KOTESOL awards. I think this is a great opportunity for us to offer congratulations and also gratitude to some of our members for their important contributions to our profession. This year's Reflective Language Teacher of the Year award goes to Brian Raisbeck. This award was founded by Dr. Thomas Farrell, and Dr. Farrell describes Brian as a true reflective practitioner and the leader of the reflective practice movement in Korea for many years. The Korea TESOL Journal Research Paper of the Year award goes to an initial examination of Korean secondary students' perceived subject-specific CLIL efficacy by Daniel M. Savage. The English Connection Article of the Year award goes to Zoom, Nearly a Perfect Classroom by Gerald De La Salle. And the KOTESOL Proceedings Best Paper award goes to Feedback and Feed Forward, Student Perceptions of Teacher Responses to Writing by Ile Chan and Jeremy Phillips. Let's offer really warm congratulations and gratitude to all of those winners. And finally, I'd like to say a big hearty thank you to everybody on the International Conference Committee and all the volunteers who have made this conference possible. Many people have contributed, and we owe all of them our gratitude. If I may, I'd like to take a moment to say particular thanks to Conference Chair Lindsay Heron. Anyone who has some experience in KOTESOL knows that Lindsay has contributed untold amounts to our successes for many years, and I'm completely thrilled that this weekend we get to enjoy her chairing of our international conference. Please join me in offering Lindsay the International Conference Committee, and all the conference volunteers a generous round of applause. Thank you also to you for being here and for making our professional community such a wonderful place to spend a weekend. And I hope everybody has a truly fantastic conference.
Thank you very much, Brian, for those very kind words. And also congratulations to the winners of those CoTESOL annual awards. If you are new to CoTESOL, if you have never had a CoTESOL membership before, please check out your membership benefits, because you do have the opportunity to publish with us, to apply for awards, and to apply for grants. Nope.
Hello, I'm...
There we go. All right. Let's move on to the technology, which I clearly have mastered. We're using various and sundry tech tools this time because they complement each other so nicely to provide a kind of virtual space where we can attempt to simulate the kind of interactions we had at face-to-face conferences. Now, our first tool is Edzilla, which is amazing. I believe the creator, Gary Ross, is in the audience today. So let's just give him a virtual round of applause for designing this and being so responsive when I message him with questions and requests. Now, Edzilla, I think if you're here, you've probably figured out some of the basics, but let me just highlight a few key features that will make it even more useful to you as the conference progresses. First, if you want a receipt, you can get a receipt under your ticket. That's if you click your image, your avatar in the upper right corner of the page, it'll open up a menu that includes your ticket. Your ticket lets you know that you do have a ticket, and that will let you see the different links that you can click to participate in the conference. It also is where you can find your receipt, and after the conference, you will find your attendance certificate. If you're a presenter, your presenter certificate will also be there. Now, you've probably discovered by now the live page. The live page is your best friend during the conference. You can find it in the upper right corner of every page on Edzilla, and also in the middle, can't miss it, right there, smack dab in the middle of the home page. Now, on the live page, you can find a quick link to asynchronous sessions if you'd like to see the mini videos we have available. And those will be available for viewing through May 31st. So please come back here anytime until the end of May to view the asynchronous sessions. It also includes one poster, so don't miss it. Now, on the live page, you'll also notice we have a list of upcoming sessions, sessions that are in progress, and later sessions. Now, if you see click to enter session, that means the Zoom link is open. The Zoom link is embedded. You don't need it. Everything is set. You don't need a password. You don't need the link. All you need to do is click where it says click to enter session. If it's green, that means the session is currently in progress. If it's yellow, that means it's coming up in the next approximately 10 minutes. If it doesn't say click to enter session, that means the room isn't open. It'll say read more, and you can read the abstracts and prepare your plan for the coming day. Now, another friend of yours is the schedule page, which you can view either with or without abstracts in a nice compact fashion. And you'll notice that it has these little hearts. Those little hearts, you can click them and it will add that session to your favorites list. For a quick reference, to access your favorites list, just click the little heart icon that's up in the upper right-hand corner next to your profile picture. And it'll pull up all of the sessions that you've given your little heart to. Another way you can discover sessions and quickly access the information about them is our quick reference page. We have a drop-down menu here under Quick Reference that includes an overview schedule as a grid of the entire conference. If you want to see the entire timetable, just check the titles, the speakers, and the durations, as well as the times, of course. Go to the overview schedule. That's your quick and handy reference. We also have a link to asynchronous sessions collected together, the graduate student showcase, invited speakers, all of our Pecha Kucha, a link to our pre-conference plenary, a collection of all of the free and open to the public sessions, a way that you can search by name or title, and a link to our discussion on Discord, which I will explain in just a moment. This is what you get if you click the asynchronous sessions or the graduate student showcase. We've got them collected together so you can quickly see the titles, a snippet of the abstract, and the presenter and time. Oh, and I think you've probably noticed it by now, but if you are not in Asia or Seoul, you can change the time zone by just clicking on it. It'll give you the option of changing it to your local time zone if it's not already set to it. Please also be sure to visit all of our virtual booths. We have a huge number of them that you can visit and peruse, including of course, our platinum sponsor, the University of Missouri, our gold sponsors, ITEP, Publications, and the University of Birmingham. And if you continue scrolling down, you will see booths for all of our domestic and international partners, as well as other organizations we've partnered with for this particular conference, and some of the organizations that we're just good friends with. Finally, if all else fails, if you can't find what you're looking for, click Help. Help is under About the Conference. If you go to the Help page, it has a quick explanation of how to access the live sessions, how to favorite sessions. And if you scroll to the very, very bottom, it does have hidden in there. So don't go there first, but check everything before you do it. It has my phone number. So if you need to contact me on WhatsApp or Kakao Talk, you can do that. Please try Discord first. But if you're having a problem that involves Discord, WhatsApp and Kakao are also okay. All right, let's talk about Discord. Discord is basically a chat app. It's kind of similar to Slack. It has a lot of text channels as well as video and audio channels. So when you join it, you'll be able to see our conference Discord server on the left-hand side of the app. Now, this is for the desktop version, not for the web version. I'm not as familiar with the web version. It doesn't have as many bells and whistles. But if you do download the desk app, this is kind of what it looks like. And you'll see all of your Discord communities on the left. Ours is the one that looks the way you'd expect it to. Now, this is where you're going to start. It explains briefly how to participate in Discord, the rules of conduct, and don't miss out on our help desk. If you have any questions throughout the conference that aren't answered elsewhere, please post them in the help desk. Several of us will be monitoring the help desk at all times, and we will endeavor to answer your question as quickly as possible. The next thing you might want to peruse is our text channels. We have space there for introductions. Please get to know everybody at the conference a little bit. You can socialize and hang out, share resources, promote your session or something else you've got coming up. Resources from presenters can be shared there as well as on their session page in Edzilla. And if a session is just too short and you want to continue the discussion after the session, leave the Zoom room and continue it here in Discord in session discussion. Now, if text isn't sufficient for you, scroll down because Discord is awesome. It also has audio and video channels. To join an audio or video channel, just click the channel with the little audio button near it. And then you can decide whether you want to add video or stay audio. You can also share your screen with the other participants in the room. Now here you can see me by my little lonesome. As soon as somebody else joins, it'll be just like Zoom. I'll see their lovely face if they are sharing the video. If you want to hang up at the end when you're ready to disconnect, please just click the disconnect button in the lower left-hand corner of the page, back where it said video, and also had the little disconnect icon. This is also where you can have discussions with our key sponsors. You can ask them a text message, or a message by text rather, or you can discuss something with them in more detail synchronously in their audio and video chat channels. All right, so it's possible that you've joined Discord and it's all just overwhelming. You keep getting little notifications every time someone joins the channel and every time someone posts something. I know it gets a bit much, but fortunately, Discord lets you mute channels. So if there's a channel that is just sending you too many notifications, simply click the bell icon at the top and it gives you the option of muting the channel for different durations. You can also select the alerts that you do want to receive from the channel. Maybe you want to receive all messages, only messages that mention your username or are for everybody, or maybe you want to receive nothing. If you want to unmute a channel, well, this is what it looks like if you've successfully muted it. And when you're ready to unmute it, just click the bell with the line through it, and it'll let you unmute the channel so you can once again begin receiving notifications from the channel. If you really want to mute everything just at one go, you can do that in the upper left corner. Just click the down arrow next to the server name, and that'll open up a menu that looks something like this. You can click notification settings and mute the entire channel if you want to, then go through and selectively unmute individual channels if you want to. Again, you can decide exactly which messages you want to allow to reach you. All right, oops, hang on a sec. I do also want to point out, if you have finished the conference, you want to get rid of this particular Discord server, that is also in that same menu for the entire server. You can leave the server and it will never bother you again. Please, when you're muting things though, please don't mute the announcements channel, because that is where we're going to post time-sensitive notifications. So upcoming sessions, any problems. I don't think we'll have any major important critical announcements, but that's definitely a place where we can communicate with you easily. Finally, I'd like to offer special thanks to the conference team. There were dozens and dozens of people who worked on this conference, including, sorry, we're short on time, all of these wonderful people. Thank you, team. Thank you to all of our moderators and Zoom hosts. Thank you to our grad student showcase mentors. By the way, our grad student showcase, the GSS, does involve a lot of benefits for grad students who aren't quite ready to jump into presenting on their own. So we do encourage you to encourage your grad students to apply next year. Thank you to all of our vetters. And also, of course, thanks to all of the participants. I'm so glad and touched and delighted that you came here, that we're all here together, really, to promote engaged and empathetic pedagogies, asset-oriented perspectives, and humanizing practices. Together, we can challenge traditional narratives about what education is. We can embrace responsive, responsible approaches. We can explore how we can impact life in meaningful, productive, positive ways, working toward a better world. Really, this weekend, I think, and I hope going forward as well, is an opportunity to, as Valerie Kinlock says, reimagine our work in the world, with the world, and because of the world. So thank you so much for joining us. I hope you enjoy the conference. And with that, our opening ceremony is officially over. And you have about 5 minutes to get a beverage and then join one of the amazing sessions that starts at 10 a.m. Thank you very much.